In the Loop, Apostles Disciples Ministry Group is a collection of 12 churches in and around Baltimore City. In the beginning of 2018, the In the Loop group decided to merge with the Apostles Disciples Ministries, which was a spontaneous ministry group that wanted to seize on the energy around race, class, and poverty, and to support the Presbytery, the Baltimore Presbytery's mission themes. The merger centered around four concentrated areas of ministry. One, creating safe space or courageous space for dialogue and conversations. Two, sponsoring action events in the community of our respective churches. Three, confronting racism and injustice and to support racial reconciliation. And four, supporting positive changes in our presbytery. These make up the four puzzle pieces the ministry group decided to focus on. In January 2017, on Martin Luther King Day, the Loop hosted an event called What Now, or Now What? After the 2017 presidential elections, we invited the recent stated clerk of the Presbyterian Church USA, Reverend Dr. J. Herbert Nelson, and he gave a message to the church about the new initiative called Hands and Feet. He encouraged us to seize the curious moment in the church for change, that we are not dying but reforming. He also cautioned us to get busy in the communities we serve and not to mess it up. So in the beginning of 2018, In the Loop, Apostles Disciples sponsored on MLK Day an anti-violence worship service and workshop highlighting Dr. Martin Luther King's 6 principles of nonviolence. That nonviolence, number 1, is a way of life for courageous people. 2, nonviolence seeks to win friendships and understanding. 3, nonviolence seeks to defeat injustice, not people. 4, nonviolence holds that voluntary suffering can educate and transform. 5, nonviolence chooses to love instead of hate. And 6, nonviolence believes that the universe is on the side of justice. We worshiped around 5 prayer stations. We sang songs of inspiration and empowerment. The service highlighted the 363 murders occurring tragically in Baltimore City in 2017. The service seized on First and Franklin's Purple Ribbon campaign, and we prayed for the lives and families of all 363 people who lost their lives to gun violence and their families. The event also held a workshop inviting Baltimore City Safe Street, a ministry, a group of ex-felons who go into Baltimore City's toughest neighborhoods, diffusing conflicts before they can turn into violence. The workshops also hosted Roberta's House, a ministry of grief counseling that works with children, families impacted by violence. So we continued in March. The Loop wanted to broaden the conversation around the legacy of racism and historical violence. So we held a Lenten Bible study series, and we invited the entire presbytery to attend our African American church's traditional Lenten fellowship. And we had conversations around the book by the late Dr. James Cone, The Cross and the Lynching Tree, a courageous study making the connection between the crucifixion of Jesus Christ and the historical connections of racism and violence in this country. The study was held at Knox, Madison, Trinity, and Locker. It was very well attended, and we had some fruitful and courageous insights into the legacy of racism. And so we continued finally in the season of Lent. On Good Friday, the Loop had a theme, continued, No More Sword Talk, in a service at Hunting Ridge Presbyterian Church, featuring our Presbyterian exec Jackie Taylor and John Brereton, the pastor at Lock Kern Presbyterian Church, in a worship service to raise funds for Safe Street and the Roberta's House Ministries. So my friends, as the In the Loop Apostles Disciples Ministry continues to reorganize and re-energize its effort, we will be holding in the fall on Friday, September the 28th at Faith Presbyterian Church. We'll have a meal and a night of fun and fellowship. The Loop is inviting all of his churches to pair off and square off to play an evening of the First Church Family Feud. And during the meal, the Loop was also requested that the center will share some of his upcoming strategies for the Hands and Feet initiative towards the General Assembly gathering here in Baltimore in 2020. So we continue to invite all of our 12 churches for their participation as we develop ministries and projects that will empower us, empower our churches to do ministry in the 21st century with all of its challenges. So my friends, blessings to you and thank you.